Patrick adjusted his thick glasses. He pushed his unruly mop of brown hair out of his eyes. He was deeply engrossed in Simone de Beauvoir's The Second Sex. He was determined to dismantle the patriarchy, one feminist theory at a time.
Across the crowded high school cafeteria, George sat alone. His greasy hair hadn't seen shampoo in at least 3 weeks. He was a walking biohazard, radiating a distinct aroma of teenage angst and stale pizza. He was a master of his own universe, a Sigma male before his time.
Their eyes met across the room. Patrick, usually outspoken about gender equality, felt a strange flutter in his chest.
George, normally oblivious to social cues, felt a pull towards the mop-haired boy reading feminist literature. It was an unlikely attraction. But wasn't that always the way with love?
Their courtship was awkward, clumsy, beautiful. They bonded over shared lunches. Patrick introduced George to the empowering world of gender studies. George, in turn, introduced Patrick to the joys of ignoring personal hygiene. Their differences, once so stark, seemed to melt away. They were two souls intertwined, or so Patrick thought.
One fateful afternoon, Patrick stumbled upon a sight that shattered his heart into a million pieces. George, his greasy hair illuminated by the flickering light of a laptop screen, was in a compromising position.
He wasn't alone. Beside him, clad in a donkey furry suit, was a woman old enough to be his grandmother. Her wrinkles were barely concealed by the poorly fitting donkey head. Her dentures rested precariously on the side, a testament to the passion of the moment.
Patrick fled, tears blurring his vision. His heart, so recently filled with love, was now a desolate wasteland. Betrayal cut deep. Patrick, fueled by a potent cocktail of heartbreak and rage, vowed revenge. But his target wouldn't be George. No, his fury was directed at something much larger, much furrier. He would make all furry-wearing grandmas pay.
He started small, leaving strongly worded notes about age-appropriate partners on car windshields. He escalated to glitter bombs, then strategically placed whoopee cushions. He became a whirlwind of chaos, striking fear into the hearts of furry-clad grandmothers everywhere.
His crusade attracted attention. Others, nursing their own furry-related traumas, flocked to his side. They were a motley crew, united by their shared pain. Section 4, Rise of the Furry Lord. Patrick, once a champion of gender equality, found himself swept away by the tide of his own making. The lines between justice and vengeance blurred. He embraced the absurdity of it all. He too would don a furry suit.
I chose a wolf, a symbol of power and leadership.
The moment he slipped on the plush head, something shifted within him. He was no longer just Patrick, the heartbroken high schooler. He was Patrick, the alpha wolf, the furry lord.
We pledge our allegiance to you, Patrick, the Alpha Wolf.
His followers, energized by his transformation, pledged their allegiance. They were no longer just a group of disgruntled individuals. They were an army ready to fight for a world free from the tyranny of morally questionable furry enthusiasts. Their first target, the government. Section 5. The Resistance and the Final Showdown. News of Patrick's furry revolution spread like wildfire. The government, caught off guard by the sheer absurdity of it all, floundered. Their attempts to quell the uprising only fueled the flames of Patrick's furry fury. Meanwhile, George, haunted by his betrayal, had found a new purpose. He would lead the resistance against Patrick's furry army. He owed him that much.
I will stop you, Patrick. I have to.
Their final confrontation was a sight to behold. On one side, Patrick, clad in his majestic wolf suit, leading his furry legion. On the other, George, armed with nothing but his wits and a year's supply of deodorant, a peace offering of sorts, rallying the bewildered remnants of the government.
We stand with you, George.
Their eyes met across the battlefield, the weight of their shared history hanging heavy in the air. It was time to end this. Section 6, Love Conquers All, and also the government. The battle raged, fur flew, tears were shed. But in the end, love, as it so often does, found a way. As Patrick lunged for George, his wolf claws bared, a single tear rolled down his furry cheek.
Patrick, stop. I see your pain.
George, seeing the pain in his former lover's eyes, dropped his makeshift weapons and embraced him. The world held its breath. The fighting stopped. The furries, confused but always down for a good cuddle puddle, lowered their banners. In that moment, surrounded by the chaos of their own making, Patrick and George remembered why they fell in love in the first place. They were two sides of the same coin, two souls destined to be together, no matter how many furry suits stood in their way. Section 7, Happily Ever After, with a few extra chromosomes. With the war won and their love rekindled, Patrick and George decided to dedicate their lives to a new cause, adopting children with Down syndrome. They opened their hearts and their home, welcoming 10 adorable children with an extra chromosome into their lives.
Our days are filled with laughter, love, and the occasional fur-related mishap.
We teach them about acceptance, tolerance, and the importance of fighting for what you believe in, even if what you believe in involves wearing a furry suit in public.
And so, the boy who once dreamt of dismantling the patriarchy and the boy who hadn't showered in a month found their happily ever after, proving that love, like a well-worn furry suit, can conquer all.